it's Cooper here, Big D's Dog Training and Services.com. Feel free to share. You know what? I did a vent the other day, and I'm just going to recap that vent. President, governor, mayor, I understand that you're trying to think about looking out for the best interest of the public, but you have to keep in mind the ripple effect of what you're doing. You don't have enough bailout money. It's not reaching me. I can't get it. It's not reaching many of the other mom and pop shops that I know because they can't get it. So the damage that you're doing and the people that you are going to physically strangle to death is going to outnumber financially, be a burden to society, more so than any hospital that would be overwhelmed in Minnesota, the Midwest, the continental United States. And let me say this up front. No, I do not want to or encourage or anybody who's sick or ill or have anybody die. But I want you, as people that are in power, to stop preaching death. Preach life. Teach them how to live. Social distancing is not going to eradicate the virus. Period. It's not going to slow down the curve. Period. You're going to prolong the exposure. And until everybody is exposed to it, you're never going to eradicate it or deal with it. And the damage that you're doing economically to me, my family, our household, my household's friends' households, is going to be devastating. And you're not looking at the ripple effect because you are protected financially. You don't even have the ability to have the empathy of the damage that you're doing because you're protected financially. You're protected medically. You can get on the TV and you can say, oh, I feel bad for these people and I want the best for them. But you have absolutely no understanding to the damage that's being done from the cattle farmers that are, or the milk producers that are dumping milk. You can't see it. You don't understand what it means to have the crops being turned over and the damage that it's going to do to the economy. Not today, but a year from now. And the numbers that die are going to be much, much higher caused by you versus COVID. No, I don't want anybody ill. And you're not going to come up with a vaccination. And you're not going to come up with, you're going to come up with a treatment, but not a vaccination. Because it's a virus. And I'm not talking about propaganda, and I don't want all that garbage can be thrown out. People are going to get sick. I don't wish that on anybody. But the longer you don't allow people to become in contact, the more damage that you're going to do to them health-wise. Look at the science. All you have to do is go to a local cattle herd and look at the science. If the animals don't get sick and it doesn't spread all the way through, you'll have one, you isolate, guess what? You bring it back into the herd, they make another one sick, and you prolong it to the point where, guess what? They all die. Rather than bringing them all in, treating them all once, and treating the ones that get sick and letting them go back into the public. Mere fact. So I do not know who's advising you, but you can't be advised from a laboratory. You can't be advised from a classroom. It doesn't work. You take every single individual that has the degree of being an engineer. They won't listen to an engineer that hasn't done the job for a while. Why is that? Because you have to have the practical application of real world in order to understand that you can't put this under that because now they can't use it or work it. You look at engineers that have designed cars. Why do they go through the R&D department? Because guess what? Otherwise, they don't realize that engineering project doesn't work. And it's the exact same thing holds true in the medical profession from the classroom scenario. You look at the economics professor. It works great on paper, but you don't have the factor of real world. So guess what? The best economics people have actually accomplished the job in economics. Run a business. The next individual that gets up, that talks about flattening the curve, the only way that you can have a curve is if you've tested every single person in your sample. Every single person in your sample. And because you're not going to ever be able to test every single person in your sample, let the people work. Because you're never going to be able to test every single individual in the state of Minnesota before you're allowing them to work. And if you're going to just test the people that are ill, that doesn't do you any good either, because you have your doctor saying, oh, you just have the flu. Oh, you just have walking pneumonia. Because they don't even know what they're looking at, and unwilling to test the people because, well, I don't even want to acknowledge the fact that they have it. So stop with the smoke that's being blown up all of the individuals that are in my state of Minnesota's butt. Stop it. Let people go back to work. Let them live. And help people when they get sick. You're not going to overwhelm the hospitals. Not in Minnesota. You're not going to. You have to understand, too, Minnesota has 14 to 15% more hospitals than New York has. And they're more spread out. They have, per capita, they have 20% more hospitals per capita than California does, and they're more spread out. Come on, let people go back to work. Treat the sick. I get it. I don't want to see anybody die. But everybody's going to have to get the virus or be exposed to it, one way or another. Unless you come up with a vaccine that's a modified live product that everybody can get their shot, they can go through the symptoms and not have it full. If you're going to work on that, please do. It's like when you give a dog a rabies vaccination, they give them a modified vaccine so the animal fights it and it has them immune to it, so if they come in contact with it, it won't take them down. But you're not working on that. You're telling people the opposite. Let them have exposure. You're not going to control it. You're not going to control it. And the lies that are being told to you and us are devastating. You will, in what you've done, damage and kill more people in the last 2 months of work that you've done than you will ever recognize. And mark my words, it will be 36 months of recovery once you say everybody can go. And the money that nobody's getting. And I was in a town hall meeting just yesterday, just listening, and none of the answers to the questions, none of the questions were answered. There is absolutely, everybody's talking, senators are talking about, oh, guess what? You got money coming, you got money coming. Nobody's seeing it. I can't get it. My business is devastated. And you're preaching that we'll be okay. But you devastated me. Where's the lawsuit there? You personally devastated me. My President Trump devastated me. My Governor Walz devastated me. My mayor in Princeton devastated me. And I can't do anything about it. I have no recourse.